hand off to Phil. If Phil, you have anything to share?
Has Andrew made it yet?
Yeah, he's on. Andrew, you want to just kick us off with the Michigan update?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone, and hope you've been enjoying the summer. I've just got a brief update, just kind of update you where we're at with our chemo stuff, and then, be willing to answer any questions. And so we've been continuing moving forward with our house strategy and working with Dare Rendon. She is committed to actually drafting our legislation, and so they're in the process of doing that right now. We will be meeting with her here at the end of the month up in district to discuss strategy. And so, what do we mean when I talk about strategy? And so our strategy is we're taking more of a federal approach. And all of you have seen time after time that we're always asking for people to co-sponsor legislation. And so this time we're going to do that with oral chemo on a state level. And we have a goal of 35 Republicans to be either sponsors or co-sponsors of our oral chemo bill, so we can show the speaker that we have a majority of his caucus who's in favor of this legislation. And if we can do that, we can show that, Mr. Speaker, it's time to get serious about talking about working on this, and it's time to push something forward finally, rather than just having it sit in the House and have no action taken. And so our folks deserve some action on this. Everyone in Michigan deserves some action on this, and it's finally time to get this taken care of. And so we're meeting with her to kind of finalize our target list. And once we get that list finalized, we'll make sure that Matt will contact folks across the state and with who our targets are. And if you have one, we'll have a game together to send in some emails, send in some phone calls, and just ask your member to sign on as a co-sponsor. And so we should have that up and ready to go. And it's great because it coincides with all the work that we've been doing around our postcard effort. And so thank you to those that have been working on that. And we're really looking forward to getting some really good postcards out of the Livingston County Relay coming up. And, if we can show the House Health Policy Chair and the House Insurance Chair that this is an important issue to everyone, hopefully they'll turn around and take it seriously moving forward. And so essentially putting them on notice that, we know this is out there. We've contacted you, and we know that you're in a position to go ahead and take some action on this. And so in terms of where we're going and engaging folks in Relay, I think that's great. And hopefully we'll pick up some new folks that would be interested in continuing their efforts with CAN, and hopefully possibly think of becoming ambassadors. And so a lot of good things going on around oral chemo now. So we're excited about that, and excited about the work to come. One of the other things I do want to mention to everyone on the phone, once we get later in the year, we'll be able to discuss this a little bit more in depth, but how we set our goals as ACS CAN in terms of the issues we work on will be changing. And so Matt and I will be going through, a few phone calls, painful or not painful, but phone calls to kind of lay out the process and let us know how this process will work. But really more, our goal setting now and our campaigning will be really focused around effects on people. And so how Governor Snyder has his scorecard and has his dashboard in terms of how effective his initiatives are. ACS CAN will have one as well, and your staff will work hard to ensure that we can meet the goals that they have on a national level, but meet our goals here on a state level as well. So, but I just kind of want to give you a heads up that kind of how we operate in terms of our planning and our goal setting and our campaigning will probably end up changing just a little bit coming up for next year. So with that, I'll stop and see if anyone has any questions.
Andrew, if you want to just talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying I didn't hear any questions, but if you've got another thing for him to talk about, go ahead.
Oh, Andrew, I was just going to talk. Did you just want to mention briefly your meeting with Sam Singh and what he said about the Dems?
Oh, yeah. We've gotten a commitment from the Democratic leader to have the Democratic caucus sign on as co-sponsors. So it's just more of a number games for us. So if we get our 35 Republicans along with all the Dem co-sponsors, if we can get up to 75 to 80 co-sponsors on one bill, I think it'll be one of the first times ever that it's probably happened. So good positive things.
Yeah, and it's a pretty bold statement to have that many co-sponsors. So, and I think we can do it. So, just like on the federal level, it's going to be one at a time. But the one thing I do like about this new ask is that we have all had all the meetings with all the legislators and a lot of members in the House about oral chemo, and they've all said, yeah, that's a good idea. I support that. We've heard that a ton. Last year when it was lame duck, when we asked them, okay, now go in there and talk to the speaker about it, we got a lot more traction. And so now I think we now have action they can take. Talking to them and saying, great, you're supportive. We want you to go talk to Darren and tell her you're going to be a co-sponsor. I think that's a clear-cut ask to make of them. They can do that. They're ready to drop a bill once she gets enough co-sponsors. So this moving forward is going to be our main push in the fall to push to get all those co-sponsors. So we'll be asking you and all the ambassadors to go out and talk to folks and lock down as many of these co-sponsors as we can. So in addition to that, Andrew mentioned the postcards. We'll be in Livingston County. Thanks for those that have signed up. Doing the postcards this weekend. I will be there all day Saturday, so if you're coming Saturday, I emailed and said, bring Lights of Hope money if you have some that needs to be processed or you need any materials. I'll be there. I can bring anything you need. But in addition to that, you're going to see in this fall a rollout of several action alerts from us, emails. We've held off on a lot of emails this year because of everything going on federally, which there was a ton. So we didn't do too much. We mainly focused our action alerts around our lobby day this year. So in this fall, you're going to see us get a lot more active on emails out. In our first email that goes out, we're going to be asking for stories. We need oral chemo stories. We have some ideas of things we want to do with stories, but we need enough of them. So we are going to need stories of anybody that's taken an oral chemo. Maybe they know a relative that took an oral chemo. Maybe they couldn't get on an oral chemo, couldn't afford any oral chemo. Any oral chemo story will do. Even if I was fortunate enough to take an oral chemo and it was so convenient to just sit in my living room and do my oral treatment instead of go to a hospital. Any story. So anybody that was on an oral chemo, we need their story. That is going to be, it's one thing we didn't have enough of last year, I don't think, and that's going to help us move this. If we get enough stories, we'd like to put together a storybook that we are going to give to all the leadership and all the members of the committee where these bills end up, so that they can see the faces and see the stories of the people it actually affects. Wisconsin did this to great effect around the Affordable Care Act actually earlier this year, and so we want to do similar here, and we think that's going to really help us also. So before that email goes out, if you guys are thinking of anybody that has a story or oral chemo or was on oral chemo, we'll be needing those folks, and we'll be needing volunteers to reach out to them and say how important it is to get their story. But we have a place to collect stories online, and we will be doing an action order on that hopefully by the end of the month to kick it off. And then we're going to have some alerts to email members of the House and the Senate, eventually do some calls. So you're going to see a number of action alerts around this as we start to ramp things up here in the fall around the oral chemo issue. So with that, I'll open it up once again. Any other questions before I move on to federal things? All right. Well, we sent out the recording to the national call that was last week, so I'm going to do a quick federal update and talk mostly just about Lobby Day. But just as you all know, going into Lobby Day, we'll be talking cancer research, PCHETA, and the colorectal bill. If you haven't, well, hopefully everybody has had a chance to meet and talk to at least the members of the district office for their member of Congress. Now's the time that we've talked about. So I know some of you have plans to stop in or do drop-bys to congressional district offices. I know I have petitions for Melissa to drop off to Kilby and for Jennifer to drop off to Rep. Molinar. Beth's going to do a research petition drop-off to Senator Peters for us. So all those petitions that were collected at all the relays throughout the last year or so, we are delivering those now. But right now is a good chance to do the drop-by or do the call to remind them or tell them, if you haven't already, that you're going to be there next month. Kind of the same as last year. Last year, it was our goal to make sure that they knew we were coming when we got to D.C., that we didn't just stop in and talk to them about issues and then they say, well, we'll look at that. No, the goal is that they have already looked at our issues, so when we get in there, we can have good conversations about where they're actually at on the issues and if they would co-sponsor and if they're supportive or not. So what I really need everybody to do in the next couple of weeks is to reach out to the district office or call the D.C. office directly. The person you want to talk to in D.C., as always, is the legislative aide. You ask for the legislative aide. If they're not there, tell them to leave a message. Let them know, I'm Matt Phelan. I'm coming to D.C. next month. I'm going to be talking about this issue, and this issue. I hope that you'll have a chance to look that over before we meet. So I think we've done this last couple of years now, and it's been very effective. We've gotten a lot more answers at Lobby Day because we've done a little bit of work on the front end. And so I'm asking everybody to do that little bit of work here before we leave on the front end to make sure they know you're coming and they know what you're going to talk to them about. So if anybody needs help with that or in any way, just let me know. I'm happy to help you out. Get the phone number you need or try to figure out who it is you should be talking to. But yeah, normally if you call the DC office, you can ask, who is the legislative aide that works on health policy, and you can get to them. So, because they're the ones that are going to look over the bills and really ultimately make the recommendation to the member of Congress or whether they support or not. So, so we definitely want to be doing that here as we finish up August going into Lobby Day. And then on to Lobby Day, just Lobby Day, it's very much structured like last year. Michigan, we are going to do something just kind of like we did last year. Sunday night after the awards dinner, we're going to get together somewhere. We haven't decided yet, but plan on getting together so we can just kind of do a little meet and greet so everybody can see everybody at the start of Lobby Day. We have several new people that are going to be there, so I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to meet them and they get to meet you. So we have a good idea all week of who the Michigan delegation is. But so look forward to that. I'll have more details on that as we get closer, but we're definitely going to get together, maybe in the hotel, maybe across the street at a restaurant, just for a half hour or so, just to say hi and get to know some of the new people and see everyone and give any updates that might need to be given at that time. So that's the plan right now, to do that. So please plan on that. And then I checked today. Everybody's got their flights covered and all that, so that's great. I'm going to reach out to other grassroots managers in some of the other states in the North Central region about putting groups together for people to make it to the excuse me, to make it to the hotel. Since we do have so many new people, I want to definitely get groups of 3 and 4 people together so they can meet at the hotel or at the airport, and we can make sure everybody gets to the hotel. So for some newbies, taking the Metro or taking the Amtrak from BWI is a whole new game. So it's great to match them up with at least 1 or maybe 2 or even 3 people that have done it before. So look forward to that. We'll be emailing everybody and let them know about that too. Also, there's going to be a pre-event call. I believe it's August 31st that call is going to be, but I haven't gotten the official information and details of it yet. Once I do, I'll send it out to everybody. But that will be, I believe, a webinar with a call-in option. So please, once we get that information, mark your calendars for that too. I'm sure they'll record that like they always do. But that'll be our pre-event. And then I had one other thing to throw out to everybody. We have so many new people. I'm going to do a pre-event call. I'm going to invite all the new people to join, the people that haven't been there before. I'm going to probably invite all the athletes, but I'm just going to put it out there right now that that's something that you probably don't have to be on if you've been there once or twice and you kind of know what the whole game is about. Because we'll be just talking about what the week's like. A lot of those questions that people that haven't been there ask. So I'm probably going to do a call like that for all the new folks. But those of you that have been there before, don't feel that you have to be on that call. I'll probably still record it. If you wanted to listen to it, great. But it's not something that we're going to mandate. You got plenty of phone calls and webinars to be on that we're asking you to do right now. So I didn't just want to add another one. So that's before I go to Lights of Hope, that's everything with Lobby Day that I have right now. Are there any questions or anything about Leadership Summit and Lobby Day? All right. Well, if something comes up, you can email me about that. And the last thing is Lights of Hope. We're doing a great job on Lights of Hope, so thank you to everybody that's getting donations out there. I have some good news on that. 2 things are happening that are going to help you guys out without you really having to do much. Excuse me. The first thing is that today we sent an email out to all the senior managers of Relay for Life to let them know that when people sign up online or buy a Lights of Hope online, it can be credited to their Relay for Life. And so Jennifer Hunt sent an email out for us, all the senior managers, with a link to every one of your Lights of Hope pages that they're sending to all hopefully to the Relay staff and then to the relayers, asking them to purchase a Light of Hope and credit it to their Relay through one of your pages. And we sent them links to all your pages with the areas in which you kind of represent. So hopefully that's going to drive some more relayers to purchase some Lights of Hope. And then those will be credited. Now the money doesn't get credited to the relay, but they get credit for the membership. So if there's a relay that needs those 5 or 10 more memberships to get to Can Club, they can get 5 or 10 more people to buy a Light of Hope. It can be credited to their relay. They could hit Can Club, or they could hit their goal before the end of the year. Which for relay, they wrap up August 31st. So that's the first part on the Lights of Hope. That's good. The second thing is the national email just went out on Lights of Hope this week. That's the only email that they're going to be sending nationally on Lights of Hope. However, they've given us the option that we can send localized emails trying to solicit Lights of Hope that come from you. I have those templates. If that's something you are interested in me doing, I can send you the template if you want to read it over, or if you're just like, go ahead, put my name on it, that's fine too. But it works out really good if we could have it come from you with your picture on it, And simply put, you just have to, kind of like we do with Letters Editor, take the template, look it over, add anything you'd like or whatever, send it back to me, and I'm going to set it up to go out to your congressional district and ask people to purchase a Light of Hope through your page. So two things happening with the Relay for Life and then with the emails that we can do that will hopefully help you guys hit your goal, get some more Lights of Hope in. So that's happening. I'll probably have all that information out to you next week. Templates. I won't be in the office tomorrow, and then I'll be at the Relay on Saturday. So next week, I hope to get all this stuff out to you. Does anybody have any questions on Lights of Hope? All right. And then just a reminder that the Ambassador Action Center goes until August 31st to record all your activity for the last year. If you haven't gone in, please try to go in there and put some of your activity down. But they'll be tracking. I think they're going to do something over Leadership Summit and Lobby Day to recognize the top action takers in the nation, things like that. So just so you know, we're trying to get all the activity into that Action Center if we can here before August 31st. And then secondly, the Lights of Hope pages will go till September 4th, I believe. At midnight, the pages will shut down. So that will be our hard deadline for Lights of Hope, at least online. As always, you can still collect some offline and send some money to me and bring the bags with you to DC. But at least for the online and for all the credit to go towards getting a free can opener ticket or the new Grand Club, if you raise $1,000, you get special recognition as a Grand Champion. So for all of that, you would have to have all your sales into the website by September 4th. So just keep that in mind. And I'll include all this information in a follow-up email to you guys, but I just want to put it on your radar now so you know ahead of time when these deadlines are. So,
thanks, Matt. Just as a comment on that, about 9 of our athletes have posted something on the Ambassador Action Center. There are still a few more that have the opportunity to get some information and post it and get it reported.
Okay, great. Thanks for that update, Phil. If those that haven't posted can get on there. If you need us to resend your login information, we can do that. But try to record, what you've done to the best of your knowledge. We don't need every single thing you've ever done, but if you can get what you can remember you did, that would be great.
They've made it pretty simple to operate now.
Yeah, it's pretty user-friendly. So, all right. And then with that, is there anything else anybody has? That pretty much wraps up everything we had to talk about. But is there anything else anybody has for the good of the cause, or any last questions on anything we said?
Matt, this is Sherry. I'm working with CJ tomorrow at the event. Where will we get? We just sign in. The postcards will be there.
Yeah, Sherry. So I won't be there tomorrow night. So CJ picked up all the materials this week. So CJ has them all. The staff partner is supposed to have a table for us, and so CJ should be there when you meet him. All the stuff should be in there. I kind of told CJ everything what we want to be doing, and he'll fill you in, and we'll be good to go. And then I will be there on Saturday morning with everybody that's coming. The relay starts at 10, so we're going to start at 10 to collect those two. I put a bunch of Frisbees in with the box so that we can give those out for anybody that joins ACS Can, or if anybody takes a bunch of postcards and goes and gets them signed for us. Just some incentives to help us along. But yeah, we're really trying to get 250 postcards signed for each of the representatives that are there. So it's a big relay.
500 postcards.
It's 500 total postcards. So we're going to do our best. But yeah, we're going to try and get that, and then we'll collect them all, and then we're going to actually be kind of mailing them a dozen at a time through starting next week and then through the fall, so that they're just getting constantly reminded that oral chemo matters to people in their district. So, yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Great. Thanks.
Great. Any other questions?
This is Jay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can we also just talk about Sandra for a second, as long as many of us are on the phone? Just thinking about Sandra, I just want to throw that out.
Yeah. I think everybody's filled in here on Sandra's situation. So Jenny kept us informed. Thank you very much in that. I think the one thing I just mentioned is, as Jenny said, I don't think she's posting a lot of stuff or putting it out there. So if we can just keep it within our Ackley family here for now,
Yep.
That would be great. But yeah, our thoughts are definitely with her right now. Anything else?
Besides T-shirts, do we need banners of some sort?
I don't know. Haven't thought of it. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of waiting to see how everything goes and what she says, and kind of let her take the lead on, I don't want to do too much because I don't know what she wants. So I do know, as Jenny has said, she appreciates all the cards and the thoughts people are sending her way. So I would say, please keep doing that. And keep it up, and let her know she's in her thoughts, and it's obviously helping her, so I would definitely say we can continue to do that. Anything else?
Hey, Matt, this is Jenny.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, Sandra really loves all the cards and everything that everyone's giving. Just keep her in mind tomorrow. Tomorrow she meets with her oncologist, and once she passes that along, I'll kind of give you guys the information. I know there's been a couple questions from some previous activities about purchasing Lights of Hope for her. I will reach out to her, see what her thoughts are on that, and let you guys know, just because I'm not sure if she wants bags there or not. So I will keep everybody posted.
Great. Thanks for doing that, Jenny. Appreciate that. Great. Anything else before we go? Well, I just want to take this opportunity before we end just to thank you guys for everything you've done all year long, really going back since last lobby day, all the oral chemo stuff in the fall and into the winter, and then at the beginning of the year with our with everything that was going on around the Affordable Care Act, and then with research cuts being proposed, we have had a lot thrown at us this year. In fact, that's why a lot of our state agenda has gotten pushed off until now. So just thanks for hanging in there with us. And, I think we've got good strategies moving forward on oral chemo. I think we've made great progress on a lot of our issues as far as the CHEETA bill and the colorectal. And so, thanks for everything you've done. I feel like in the next year or so, we're going to have a lot of victories, and that's completely has to do with everything you guys have done. So thanks again, and if you have any questions or anything comes up, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to help. So with that, I thank everybody for their time. And for those of you that are coming Saturday, I'll see you there. And for those that aren't, I'll probably see you in D.C. So have a good night, and I'll talk to everybody later.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Hey, thanks,
Night.
man.